Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of an Aries Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna talk about the Weeknd and how he mixed up. Now, right now, since we don't be knowing the actual dates, we just gonna go based upon a person's sun sign and the moon sign, which is the most important. The ascendant is a little important, but the sun is gonna be your actions, the moon is gonna be your reactions of who you are. So who you are, what makes you comfortable, how you play out those duties and obligations and energies, your moon energies get filtered through your sun sign. So your sun sign actually plays out the actions. It actually shows with it how it wants that to be seen. So your moon sign is like what you're actually doing, and your sun sign is how you actually do it, how you actually carry it out, how you actually see it being done. You know what I'm saying? How you see yourself doing that shit and things of that nature. So we're gonna start with motherfucker the Weeknd. Now the Weeknd, as a motherfucking artist, you know what I'm saying? He's a 27 degrees Aquarius, so he's one degree off the cusp. So he got a little splash of water on his actions a little bit, but still he's still communicative. You know what I'm saying? He got his own. He kind of fixed air. So he got his own stubborn way. So a lot of times people like the Weeknd could be proven wrong or something, right? But they still have to do it the way they think about it, and after a while it could become their way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? So they could come up with a whole new rebellious way of doing what they're doing, even if what they're doing is wrong. So a lot of times, they got that little stubborn factor. They stubborn with their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? All fixed signs have stubborn qualities in their energies. But in the air quality, it plays out in air, which is thinking and communication. So, Aquariuses could be stubborn in their ways of thinking and their ways of communicating. So this what makes them unique and original too, because after a while, this what makes them have their own way of communicating, their own way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? So this what a lot of people cling to. And when we in the realm of reality right now in the fifth dimension, shit, what the fuck is right or wrong? So how can you tell somebody thinking and communicating wrong right now? What the fuck is right or wrong? You dig? Now let's go to the motherfucking moon. Now his moon is in Scorpio, 16 degrees Scorpio, so that's fixed. So he got a square going on between the sun and his moon. So right there with that, anytime there's a square, that means it's a learning process. That means something you have to learn in this lifetime. So his actions, the way he act and how he see things, which is his sun, has a lot to learn from who he is and how he react to things and his emotional response and what makes him comfortable, which is his moon, and vice versa. How he react to things and who he is has a lot to learn from his actions. So a lot of times he may contradict himself. A lot of times he may feel comfortable with doing one thing, but he don't want others to see those actions played out of what he feel comfortable with. And a lot of times, let's just talk about his moon being in Scorpio and in general. The moon hates being in Scorpio, and vice versa, the sun hates being in Aquarius. See, the sun rules Leo, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. So the moon is going to fall in Scorpio, and the sun is away. It's going to be away. It's going to be debilitated in Aquarius. So it's a gift and a curse to everything. So only thing that means right here is the sun represents your actions, and it gives you energy and vitality. So when it's in a sign, like when it's debilitated, when it's away, a lot of times the vessel, your body, which you're consciously aware of, a lot of times may not have a lot of energy to carry out all the duties and obligations that you think you can see and act on. So a lot of times when the sun is in Libra or Aquarius, a lot of times they rely on their relationships, or they rely on their communication, their thinking, because remind you, the sun is your actions, the way you act. So a lot of their actions and how they see things go towards their thoughts, go towards their communications, go towards their way of thinking. And when we talk about communication, that's dealing with relating, because you have to relate in some type of way to communicate with something. So these people become masters at communicating with others and being able to get the job done. So even though the sun may be exalted in Aries, or even though you see what I'm saying, or it may rule Leo, a lot of times Aries may overexalt their energy into things that they don't necessarily need to do, and a Leo may overexalt their energy in a lot of selfless things. When the Aquarius and the Libra, and in this case we're talking about the Aquarius right now, they exalt a lot of their energy into their relationships and their communications. So a lot of times it may take an air sign or an Aquarius and right here, it may take them less actions to get from point A to point B. You see what I'm saying? Where and vice versa, the fire signs, where it's exalted in Aries and it's and it rules Leo, they may give them enough energy to do a bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? But when it's in Aquarius and Libra, they actions go towards their thinking and communicating, so that's what their energy go towards. So they come up with better ideas to get from point A to point B, less actions, more thoughts to get from point A to point B. So this would make him very unique and original, rebellious and opposing, so he's to himself. But with the moon being a Scorpio, it falls in Scorpio. So right here, when it's dealing with his emotions and feelings, it's lost, it's chaotic. So a lot of time he got a bunch of emotional highs and a bunch of emotional lows. And these are things that he don't want to show the world. So here's the thing, when the moon is debilitated, when it's in a place it doesn't want to be, and the moon, it falls in Scorpio. So it's sleep here. So it's actually uncomfortable, because when you sleep, you keep rolling around, right? Once you're in one position so long, when you sleep, right, you get uncomfortable subconsciously. So you subconsciously move based upon what's going on in your dream. That's the moon. The moon is you, who you are. So when it's in a placement like Scorpio, it's uncomfortable. So it may be emotional things that's going on within him that he may feel chaotic, that may not necessarily be chaotic to others around him. So things that he may see other people may do that they may think is comfortable, he won't do that. So it travels into a lot of different degrees. This is why you may not see a lot of interviews and a lot of things like that from the Weeknd and things of that nature. So so this makes him he feel more comfortable with being private, keeping things sacred. You know what I'm saying? And he has a flow, he has a vibe, because Scorpio is water, it's fixed water. So he's stubborn in his emotions, his feelings. So you can't make him feel other ways about things. You know what I'm saying? If he have a way of feeling about something, or something that he have, or especially a possession or something that he values, because the 8th house is the rules Scorpio, and it's opposite from the 2nd house, which is the house of values. So it kind of relates to shared values and the alternative motive behind what you actually valuing. So as a moon being a Scorpio, a lot of times he things that he value, he likes control over it, and he likes the power over it, and you can't change his emotional stance over it, or transform him in some type of way to consult to how you try to emotional conform him. So he's emotionally fixated, and when it comes to his actions, the way he sees things is fixated. So he's his own individual. So a lot of times this may play out as being internal instead of external. You know what I'm saying? Being a yin person instead of a yang person. You know what I'm saying? Not saying submissive or passive, but being more of an introvert than an extrovert. You see what I'm saying? And but this allows him to be very creative when he's in the studio. You know what I'm saying? So when you put those two things together as an absorption, you got the Weeknd. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to party on the weekend. God damn, you know what I'm saying? Because the freaks come out at night. Dun, 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 dun. Freaks come out at night. And don't his videos kind of give you that freak at night vibe? Damn, you better check on that. Flight boss, bitch, for sure. Goddamn, air.